Welcome back, Stephen Carlson, First Vice President from Janney Montgomery Scott. Also, more importantly, our financial contributor checking in for a Thursday.
Thank you, David. Always fun to be here.
The Janney thing's just your day job.
Yes,
right?
yes. Help to pay the bills.
Helps to pay the bill. Hey, we're going to get to we got some really great financial advice this week.
Absolutely.
From Dr. Steve Wood. And we're going to get to that in a second. But let's start off with the big news today, the unemployment figures.
Yes.
We're getting some mixed pictures here. On the local level, still struggling a little bit, as you saw from Megan's story.
Yeah.
A lot of folks did the job discovery fair today. But on the national picture, we're improving.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a disconnect. The numbers today were very, very encouraging. We've been talking about needing to see numbers drop below 350 on initial claims. We got that today, 332. So the numbers are getting better and better. And so locally, it's still a little bit challenging, but when we see the national situation improve, it's only a matter of time before the local story will start to shift. And that job fair was an encouraging sign.
Yeah, it'll start to trickle down. And what you were telling me as well, even though these numbers are pretty high, especially in the Warren, Washington County area where we're over that 10% mark, a lot more people, the numbers really weren't representative of how many people were out of work anyway, right? More people are now looking for work.
That's a great point. A lot of people that have part-time jobs now are going to start to look, as they see the markets get better, people are going to start thinking about changing jobs and looking for more hours. And so that's probably a little bit more reflective of that activity, which is not a bad thing. It's actually a good sign.
All right, let's get to Dr. Wood. He's an economist from Russell Investments, somebody you work with closely.
Yeah.
We had the pleasure to sit down with him earlier this week and have a really in-depth conversation about what's going on.
Yeah, we've wanted to do this for a while now. The Dow's at an all-time high. It's been doing that way for 10 days straight. The high since October 2007. The S&P's 2 points from the all-time high. And we said, let's bring somebody in internationally known. And so Dr. Wood with Russell is, I think, one of the best market strategists out there in the world today. And he was very kind to come and visit us at the station and talk about, where do we go from here? And it's an important story.
Yeah, as I said in the tease coming into this segment before the break, you may not know who Dr. Wood is, but this guy, when you listen to what he has to say, he really makes you understand what's going on in the markets. Let's run a quick soundbite from him. He's talking about where we currently are with the financial situation. Let's roll that. Where do you see us from here on out? I know we've talked about the political climate. We've talked about this market that keeps on climbing. Is there, what does it look like for us?
I think the equity markets they kind of look like a fully valued market. I don't know if it's an overvalued market. It all depends on how sentiment, corporate earnings, and the economy do. Sentiment has changed a lot, so I don't think the market looks overly cheap right now. But if we do get some sentiment, we understand that it could kind of melt upward from here, but we think it's going to be very volatile.
Dr. Wood talking about where we are, where we're going, a quick little snapshot of our conversation.
This is an interview you really want to see, to go online and check out. And some of what he talks about the political situation, talks about the tax situation, and a lot of our viewers have talked to us and said, you know what, I remember 2000, I remember 2007. We're finally even, Steve, to where we were all those years ago. What do we do now? How do we preserve? We've made our money back. What's the next step? And Dr. Wood was great just to elaborate with us and say, this is a very different market, very different situation and circumstances, and he had some really encouraging and positive news to share.
Yeah, I found a lot of mixed messages from him, but in a good way. Talking about how volatile the market currently is, if you have been sitting on the sidelines, what you need to know to move forward, and really gave some great advice. I know that I ask a lot of those questions, being the layman here in the financial world, but really some good stuff.
Well, the thing to think about is we're all participating in the market in different ways. Whether we have a coffee can in the backyard with money in it, or whether we have a CD at the bank, we're all participating when the market moves. It's just how we're participating. And I think that he really creates some interesting questions and thought-provoking ideas to think, how do we go forward in this market?
I'm just concerned about my coffee can of pennies in the backyard.
I didn't think it was pennies. I thought it was gold bullion, actually.
No, those are pennies. Stephen Carlson, First Vice President for Janney Montgomery Scott, thank you for stopping by. To see our interview with economist Dr. Steve Wood, head to the website. It's looktvonline.com. We have posted it there for you. Like I said, really great interview explaining what's currently going on with the financial markets and how you can stay ahead of the curve.